I detest the internet. Every minute, you've seen me lose a part of myself. I have replaced that void with the flesh of a beast. A beast that indulges into decomposing scraps of my mental and scavenging, nourishing itself with the meat of the dead. He is a force that if one repels, he fails to consider the damage done to himself, for there cannot be a reverse without a primary. He is pride. He is pain. He is power. He is.
A man I'll call Tom walks downstairs and he tells his cameraman, Cam, that he's gonna love what he sees. Downstairs, we see a lady tied up with blood, cuts all over her body, feces in a dog bowl, and heavily mutilated. Cam is like, she is beautiful, and we zoom in onto her chest, where we see one of her pimples cut off. This woman's name is Laura, and in the background we see another man whose genitals are cut off as he lays aft in the bathtub. The cameraman rubs her pimples, and Tom is like, are you thirsty? So he pours a bottle of urine atop of her. There will not be a substantial plot to this film. They leave her in the basement to grab some beers, and as they are driving, they find this lady walking in the dark. She asks to be taken to her destination of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. As she's in the backseat, they ask her to show her spheres for $20, and Tom states that it's a tremendous amount of money, and she does so. They also tell her to use her finger to start baiting, but as she's doing so, she realizes that they're driving off course, and Tom reassures her that he knows the destination. Tom then stops the car and tells her if she really wants to get to Pittsburgh, she has to give him some sloppy. So she goes outside and does what he asks. And once the job is finished, he pushes her to the ground, beats her up, and urinates on her lifeless body. Cam then walks up to show us her jarring face. The next day, they head to their basement of their house to play around with Laura once again. So they grab a newspaper to make her eat her own feces and rub the excrement on the pimple region that was cut. Tom is in another room, dismembering the man's body, and starts throwing up because of the disgusting smells within the room. We figure out the name of this dead man is Michael, but moving back to Laura, they pour beer between her legs and drink it up. However, they spit it out because there are bits of poop within the liquid. Tom then cuts Michael's toe off, opening Laura's mouth and shoving it down her throat. Next, they head to this hardcore music concert, and the crowd is wild. We see people in the mosh pits fist fighting. Tom and this dude end up getting into a fist fight, but a security guard breaks it outside. Sometime after this, the two go off to play around in the fields. They then go on the highway, where we find out that they're taking a little road trip to New Jersey and other states. They end up getting a tour of a meat factory to, in my guess, figure out more creative ways to harm their captives. And as they walk outside, they see the statue of Christ. Then Tom says,
one of these days I want that in my house.
Tom, you need that. You need him in your heart. But Cam the cameraman, walks under the statue, peeking under his garments to see if there were any hidden genitals within the robe. Next, they help an older lady with some groceries as she's entering into her home. But at this point, nothing compassionate comes from these two demons. So when Tom gets inside the house, he stabs her to death. They are serial killers. We are watching found footage tapes of serial killers. As they drive, they stop by a gas station to get some more refreshments. Tom starts eating chips without paying for them first, and once the store owner confronts them, they destroy the store and run off. Later, Tom goes inside to apologize and pay the owner back. But then he starts swinging and assaulting the owner. Tom and Cam round up everyone else in the store and force a couple who got caught up in the mayhem to sniff each other's beeholes. This part of the film likely inspired Human Centipede. In the end, they choke the two and pull them to the back of the store. As they drive off, the police end up turning their sirens and chasing them. But they escape. They head to a roadside attraction with a mini train diorama, enjoying all the moving pieces, as well as a tattoo shop where they get a tattoo of whatever this is. Once he gets this tat, we instantly switch to a frame of where the tattoo artist and his brother have been put in the killer's basement of horrors. Tom grabs a hammer to bluntly hit the skull of the dead corpse, and then he starts punching Nico, the tattoo artist. They both die. Finally, they go off to this house where they make out with 2 peas and crack them. We watch straight corn for the next 7 minutes, but in the end, Tom goes downstairs to crack one of the peas. Then Cam and the other pea goes down to check up on them. Here, they see Cam mercilessly giving back shots while smashing her head with a hammer. When the other pea sees this, she has the survival instinct of a tiger, immediately running out of the house into the abyss of the night. She escapes. But this is only the first film. August Underground Mortem is the sequel to this unbearingly vile tape, and the sequel is as bad as these disturbing films get. In this film, we get introduced to 3 new characters. I'll call them Jeff, Jane, and John. We see Jeff entering a house, looking through a hole in a door where 2 people are cracking each other. Jeff is like, open the door, as he carries a hammer outside. We find out that this is Jeff's girlfriend Jane, and she is cheating on him with her blood brother. They get into an argument, and we see the nuclear toxicity of this relationship. They leave the residence to go to a trap house where they aim to get revenge from their crackhead friend. Once Jeff gets inside, he grabs a hammer and offs the man. As Jane is running through the house, she sees a man under the stairs who died from an overdose, and he still has a needle stuck within his arm. Jane is like, ew, these people are sick druggies. Sick, huh? These people are sick. Back in the living room, they rummage through the stuff to see a plate of cold food with live maggots inside. They head back home, and in the back of their basement, they have a nude woman in a coffin with blood all over her body and a mask over her face. Jane then forces the victim to bait her. On the side, there's another coffin with a man who has one of the most mutilated faces I've ever seen, and they cut his dingling off. Jane then picks up the tip to lick it and suck it like a lollipop. John then grabs it and cracks her with it. After a quick intercession where they rob a store, we head back to the basement where they obtain 2 victims, Victim 1 and Victim 2. Jane makes them forcefully kiss each other while there is a dead man in the back, and she lays the two victims down to vomit in their ears. John, who has the camera, moves it over and we see Jeff cranking his rod to the three. Jane then turns them on their backs and vomits into their behinds. This entire time, she is wearing spiky garments with real sharp points, and she moves over to one of the victims in order to rock, paper, scissors them. Then she vomits on the woman's face. Next, they tie them on a pillar to make more cuts and incisions on their bodies. Jane then bends down, grabs a knife, and slides the sharp end across the woman's. John cuts the other victim's abdomen, and he takes her intestines out to eat them, while Jeff puts a plastic bag over victim 1's face to rack her mercilessly. After John eats some of the intestines, he expands the opening in her stomach and racks the hole in the abdomen. He is racking a dead woman in the stomach. The three then go outside to play in the snow with white masks, and they head to another concert with intense mosh pits. There seems to be a theme here. As they leave, they see a dude cracking his partner without covering the windows, gaining a good view of the entire process. After the concert, they head to a friend's house for a gathering and also go to a tattoo shop to get piercings. I believe this is the exact same tattoo shop from the last movie. They meet their mate, I'll call Fred, and Jeff crashes out because Fred and Jane are making out in the shop. Jeff and Jane are in a relationship together, in case you forgot. But then Jane makes out with John as well, and Jeff pushes him to the ground, beating him up. At night, they go to this secret location where they see rotten flesh and skeletons around the room, and there is a man in there that is still alive. But Fred comes out to bash him in the head with a brick. They then open a bin, and we see a decapitated baby with maggots on its neck and lower part of its body. John then picks up these maggots to ingest them. We then head to their main basement, where Jeff gets another victim and fantasizes about racking her and cutting her body into many pieces, wanting her to die slowly. In the next scene, we see human flesh with maggots in a sink, and John is racking a dead body in the bathtub. I cannot state it for a fact, but the body looks to be an adolescent. Jane is also in this bathroom, and Jeff crashes out because he thinks both of them are cracking each other. Here, we find out that this entire time, John was Jane's brother, and they've been cracking each other throughout the film. We see the woman Jeff has been fantasizing about, hanging by her legs with one of her pimples cut off, and Jeff forces John to get under the hanging body. He then slits the woman's throat as blood pours upon John, forcing John to drink it all up. John then reaches his limit, grabbing the knife, and the film ends. I will not be watching the third part. I'm done. No, I know I said this like the last 2 times I did this, but this time I can say it for certain. You may be wondering why I would even do such a thing to myself, and I can make up an excuse, but I would be lying. Sometimes you have to make sacrifices in order to progress to the next level. However, What shall it profit a man if he shall gain the whole world but lose his soul? I don't want to build an image with tools of destruction, but even the most beautiful sculptures require a blade to refine its piece. That was a fire quote. That said, I'm moving in a new direction, sailing far beyond the dark storm to a land of cultivation. I never know what I may have lost at sea, but I'll build with my heart's desire. Hey, simply put, I'm not doing no more fuck-ass movie reviews. And maybe I might start streaming. Yeah.